Hello everyone, Ace here, and today we are back with my Let's Play of the German campaign of Empire Earth. So this is it, the last mission of this particular campaign. Last mission was preparations for invasion, which means this mission is that invasion, Operation Sea Lion. The fictional invasion of England, the hypothetical planned invasion that the Germans never actually were in a position to actually do, but mainly because the preparations for invasion, while you could argue that that's historically based to an extent, the end result of it is not historical. The Germans never did actually sink the British Home Sea Fleet. They also never leveled London in the Battle of Britain, or not completely either. So, or also they weren't able to completely shut down the supply convoys. So they weren't in a position to do Operation Sea Lion. But let's jump in, shall we?
Despite years of war and enmity, Goering admires the English nation and its people, but they foolishly refuse.
Sorry.
So his Luftwaffe is ready to initiate what will become their demise. Heinkel bombers will melt the barbed wire and guns that stand between the beaches and London. Messerschmitt fighters will blur through the skies, sending the Royal Air Force down in flames. Once London is conquered, a new German town center will serve as the heart of the occupation.
Okay.
This center will be built upon the embers of Buckingham Palace, breaking the spirit of the entire British Empire in one symbolic act. The ground troops of the invasion force are already en route to France by train from all across Europe. Additional resources have been made available to provide for sea transports and any emergencies, which are sure to arise. By the time the troops are ready, their landing site on the shore of Britain should be prepared. Against the roar of the Luftwaffe's engines, the dawn of a greater Germany begins.
Alright, so here's the history. I am not going to read it to you just to abridge the video as much as possible, but I strongly recommend doing so. Even though this is a hypothetical scenario, they do cover the Battle of Britain and the Blitz in general. Leading up to it. And they, of course, mention at the very end here that Operation Sea Lion is named after the operation that never actually became reality. But yes, I would strongly recommend reading it. But anyways, here's the hints. Let's carry on.
The Luftwaffe is poised to tear apart the English coast. By the time our land forces arrive, the route...
Whoops. I kind of cut him off there. Well, I think it's kind of obvious what he's saying, though. But basically, we're going to have more reinforcements coming in. So we'll go ahead and get these guys upgraded as much as possible. I think the strength upgrade or the health upgrade will be pretty useful. We'll upgrade our heavy bombers.
Awaiting orders.
And should I upgrade the fighters? I think I'll go ahead and upgrade the 109s as well. Give them the same general treatment. Even though they're only fighter bombers, they will actually go a long way here.
Ready, sir.
And there, that should do it, I think.
Ready, sir.
This will be group 3.
Awaiting orders. Ready, sir. Awaiting orders. As you command. Sir? Sir, yes, sir.
So I want all of my aircraft to land at the airfields, with the exception of these scout planes. And the reason I'm doing this is because the scout planes are... Well, their whole purpose is to just recon, and that's about it. They might... It's not likely they're going to survive for particularly long in this mission, unfortunately, but we do have them, so we might as well make the most of them. So, but anyways, these two airfields will be Group 2. This will be the middle force, while this here will be Group 1, which will be the southernmost force. Okay, so the way it's going to work, I'll send out recon planes here with the goal of trying to cover all of this. I want to know exactly where their air defenses and whatnot are, and while we're here, we might as well speed things up. I'm sending him out in pairs. In case we lose one, we can still carry on with the mission. And I think that's a train in the background. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we've definitely made it over. Found one of the airfields. We'll just have them fly along the...
Part of our invasion force
we go.
has arrived at the rail yard south of Paris. The ground commander is still en route.
Okay, so we have been able to spot a few key things, like some radar installations, and also some airfields. Ooh, that's... okay. Ooh, we found another airfield up here that will be extremely important. And yet another airfield. We just keep running into these airfields. Alright. And radar towers. So if we take out the radar towers, and it is strongly recommended to do so, it will put blind spots up. And if we take enough of these radar towers out, we also get civ points for doing so. So we've just about got it. Another radar station here. I think we are about the extent of... Yep, we are about the extent of the English coast with this particular flight. But I think it's been a pretty successful, good flight overall. We've been able to determine quite a bit of things. Ooh, another radar station. See, this is why we check. Alright, so we have... I'd say that's a pretty good mission. Just fly them. They're probably going to get shot down. One of them did. By the ship there, but... I think we can take care of him with some of our submarines. We'll go ahead and do that. Group 2. You are going to fly... I guess we'll have them start off by flying here, and then moving their way this way.
Remember that the land invasion will need transports to cross the channel.
Yes, so eventually we will want to build land. We will want to build transports to do that. Good news is transports should require wood, so should not be an issue whatsoever. Okay, so we found another radar installation. That is good news. Another airfield. Very. We also found a whole bunch of AA guns. Not good news, but. See if there's any more airfields to the north here. Because I do want to... Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Well, we found a lot of their industrial areas. So I suppose that's something. Actually, let's see if there's anything up here of note. While we are scouting, of course. Ooh, it looks like there's another airfield or something, perhaps. Yeah, it looks like it. Could it be? Well, that's a good thing we saw that. Well, I suspect there's another one. But once we take that out, it should greatly reduce the ability of the British to attack our planes, so... We'll start another scouting run over here, see what we find.
Our course, sir. Setting course. Yes, Commander.
Okay, so what is my strategy going to be for this particular mission? Well, first of all, once we figure out where their radar stations and all that are, the first thing I'm going to do is, well, we're going to have to blast a lot of these planes out of the sky.
The invasion's ground commander has arrived. Welcome, General Rock.
That plane's out of the air. Well, at least we got some of them. Okay, so...
Yes, Commander. Sir?
7 planes. Well, first of all,
Awaiting orders.
We'll order a fighter screen to cover this area specifically. 5, 6, 7. And I will have them attack the airfield specifically, because we're going to have to get rid of that right away. Our fighter screen should be able to limit the damage. And we even took out the... Excellent news. We even took out... Ooh. And this is why we gave our bombers all that health. It does seem like our strategy of hitting these targets like this is working. The bad news is, of course, the British do have a very... Alright. Yeah, that didn't seem to pay off very well for the British, did it?
Ready, sir. 10-4.
Okay.
Awaiting orders. As you command.
However, they're still sending planes in. So we'll have to deal with what's left. Does look like we may have lost a plane, but pretty sure that we can take care of what's left here. Okay, so send a fighter screen over to deal with anything that tries to hit us over here. I'm pretty sure it takes 4 or 5 planes to deal, 5 bombers to deal with these radar stations, so we'll go ahead and deal with those. Since they're hitting us so hard over there, we should probably send more cruisers to deal with the threat. So I will do that right now.
Ready, sir. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. As you command. Ready, sir. 10-4.
Can he get out of their range fast enough? No, he didn't make it. However, we did get the ooh.
Awaiting orders.
We did, however, manage to take out more planes, so that kind of does even out, I think.
The French resistance has staged an ambush.
Oh yes, this will happen every now and then, but look at their equipment. Not really efficient, but anyways. By the way, you can actually complete this mission for the most part using only your Air Force to really do the heavy lifting, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing here. So my strategy here is I will send
10-4.
a few fighter planes to cover while we send in a pair of bombers to bomb this, which should hopefully help create a northern route to attack that airfield there, so we don't have to deal with any more bombers. And also to greatly diminish the aircraft net here.
Ready, sir. As you command.
We are under attack. We are under attack.
10-4. As you command.
Yeah, it's time to fall back. I think our raid was successful. Except, no, it wasn't, because now... well, wait, the cruisers should be able to get them. There we go. So we did clear a reasonable opening, maybe. Or I could hit the... Maybe I've got planes that from over here that can do the job. Maybe here, but well, let's see what we've got to work with over here. Yeah, we've got bombers way over here, and they should be able to, once we clear a path for them, take out that airfield. Okay, so...
Ready, sir. As you command. Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander. Sir, yes, sir.
So in one fell swoop, we'll go ahead and take out this airfield.
Sir? Yes, Commander. By your command.
And we will also take out that.
Ready, sir. Awaiting orders. As you command. Ready, sir. And for... Yes, Commander.
The French resistance has staged an ambush.
Yes, Commander.
And that airfield is done, with the A also done. I think this little raid has been pretty successful. Ooh, here comes the RAF.
Ready, sir. Awaiting orders.
And also cruisers. Gotta get these guys out of the range of the cruiser. That could be a problem.
And for... As you command. First officer here.
Now that we know where the cruiser is, we can go and deal with it. See, did that... Okay, so once we take care of that airfield, or that radar station, we can actually, I think, swoop from here, go north, take out that AA gun, and then take out that airfield as well. So that should actually work reasonably well. While we are at it, though, let's get another raid going. We'll hit this particular radar dish. So that should work out pretty well. I have no idea where the cruiser went, which is unfortunate, but we do have submarines nearby, so should it show its ugly
These
face.
10 home stations feed vital information to the British defenders. If enough are destroyed, they will never see our forces coming.
We obviously need one more, though. One more bomber coming right up. And while we are at it,
Yes, Commander.
send a few bombers from this one to attack that. Also,
Ready, sir. Ready, sir. As you command. Our course, sir.
our little mission. Ooh,
Ready, sir. Awaiting orders. And for...
let's get out of here before. Ooh.
Ready, sir. As you command.
Okay, so we can now fall back, I think, and then
Awaiting orders. As you command.
fall back, fall back. Oh, no, he's got it. Where did my air support go? Well, that's a few planes that we're going to end up losing because of that.
Sir. Attention on deck.
All right. Oh.
Sir.
All right. So at least we have lost some bombers, but we are still whittling down the RAF pretty heavily, I think. See, that should be 7 right there. We'll have them take out that airfield. Really? You're going to try sending bombers against us now?
Plotting new course.
Oh, actually, you know what? I better order the subs to go this route to get here. Because I want them to avoid any unforeseen surprises. And I think there is an island here that could be a problem somewhere around here. And this is why we brought air support.
Ready, sir. Yes, Commander. We are under attack. Ready, sir. We are under attack. Awaiting orders. As you command. Ready, sir. And for. As you command. We are under attack.
Our little plan of sending bombers in isn't working too well either. Let's see though, where are they coming from is a real mystery. Ooh.
Our course, sir. Plotting new course.
Ah, so the raids are probably coming from this particular airfield.
We are under attack. Ready, sir. As you command. And for. Awaiting orders. As you command.
And we ran out of fuel at the most inconvenient of times. We have, however, dealt a pretty sizable blow, I think,
Underway.
to a good chunk of their forces here. So
First officer heading course.
go ahead and make this all into a group. And their objective is going to be to hit a AA gun that should be on an island or something around here. Once that's taken out, we can of course move in with our planes, take out this airfield, and these two AA guns, and mission accomplished. Oh, and look, there's the enemy cruiser that's been causing us trouble. That was easy.
Underway.
Alright, so once we figure out where the defenses are there, and I think this is the island here that we need to keep an eye on. Go ahead and hit this airfield, and once we're done with, of course, this airfield right here, because I think that's where a lot of the air raids are coming from. Ooh.
Underway.
That's the island.
Setting course.
So we'll go ahead and deal with it.
Our course, sir. Setting course. First officer.
Alright. Ooh. That is bad news, because that is a... Alright, so enemy frigate dealt with.
Setting course. Bridge here. We are under attack. First officer here. Hold the guns. Our course, sir. New course. First officer here. Setting course. Our course, sir. Bridge here. Setting course.
The French resistance has staged an ambush.
Let's fall back. That is a problem.
Underway.
Okay, we'll go ahead and send some fighter bombers to deal with these.
10-4. Roger. We are under attack. We are under attack. We are under attack. 10-4. We are under attack. We are under attack. Roger. 10-4.
That's one good thing about these fighter bombers, is that they tend to wreak havoc on ships pretty well.
Roger.
Alright, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and deal with that airfield. Ah, here it is. I think we have the fighter support to handle any aircraft that it sends out.
Yes, Commander. By your command. First officer here. Bridge here. Load the gun. First officer here.
So, I think... Your little plan of sending in these bombers is not working very well, is it?
On deck. We are under attack. Course.
No, don't shoot out my bombers! That raid is an absolute mess up. We'll have to send in more planes to deal with that.
By your command. Ready, sir. Orders. Ready, sir. Orders. Go ahead. Go ahead. Roger. Yes, go ahead. 10-4. Yes, Commander. Sir, yes, sir. Sir. By your command.
We'll also go ahead and make sure that there's something to hit these AA. Ooh.
Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander. Go ahead. Yes, Commander. Roger. We are under attack. We are under attack. 10-4. Sir?
Alright, well, we have at least dealt with some of their air power, it looks like. Alright, let's see what the, okay, so we have a few bombers left to use around here.
Awaiting orders.
Send the fighters in.
Yes, Commander. Yes, sir. 10-4.
We are really running out of planes, which is not good. But we're also pretty much running out of airfields to bomb at this point.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. On your command. Awaiting orders. Ready, sir. As you command. Awaiting orders. Ready, sir. And for. As you command. And for.
Mission complete, and we've pretty much denied them another key airfield.
We are under attack.
Unfortunately, I don't think these guys may make it, they may not.
We are under attack. Yes, Commander. We are under attack. Awaiting orders. Ready, sir.
Alright, so we managed to take out another key airfield. Good. I think all that's really left as far as their airfields are... Well, there's one up here, and then there's, of course, the big one that we've been trying to get to in the first place. So we'll go ahead and take out this one first. Or where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So...
Yes, Commander. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, Commander. 10-4. Ready, sir. Orders. Awaiting orders.
Since it's going to be further behind lines, we might as well send more planes to cover it. And
Of course, sir.
I think my fleet is capable of sailing up here to deal with whatever's left, and to add us some support for the return trip, which will be useful.
We are under attack. We are under attack. We are under attack.
And that airfield is dead. And so is the AA gun. Excellent raid.
Ready, sir.
I think it's time to send our planes back.
Awaiting orders. As you command. Ready, sir. 10-4. We are under attack.
Well, we might lose a few, but...
Awaiting orders. As you command.
I think we were able to pull it off. The only one that's left is that one radar AA gun up here, plus the few... okay, so...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Commander. Yes, sir.
Well, most of these are still intact, so that is the good news. We don't have too many Heinkels left, unfortunately. We've lost almost all of them. Yeah, once we take care of this particular radar... Okay, so we'll go ahead and start clearing out radar stations too, eventually. So there may actually be another airfield around here somewhere if we're still having to deal with planes. Send out a few to cover take this.
Ready, sir. As you command. We are under attack. We are under attack.
Aha, another cruiser, and he's going straight for our...
Bridge here.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get our battleship here to go deal with it.
Ready, sir. We are under attack. Yes, sir. We are under attack.
And problem solved. And it looks like we've also are gonna kill that cruiser. Yep.
Awaiting orders. 10-4. As you command.
What is going on? I think the game has a bit of a bug going on.
Yes, sir.
Well, he's about to return, so I guess that's fine. As long as he doesn't get shot down. Ooh.
Awaiting orders. 10-4. Ready, sir.
Alright. So once we deal with that last airfield over there, I think we'll actually be able to.
Yes, Commander.
Let's actually... Can I hit it without... I'll go ahead and send some
Ready, sir.
fighters to cover, but we will also hit it with 2 bombers just to be safe. And I guess... Ooh.
Yes,
We
Commander.
better go ahead and take this one out too while we're at it.
Ready, sir. We are under attack. Yes, Commander. Sir, yes, sir. Sir. We are under attack. We are under attack.
Well, we lost that bomber, but we were able to kill the AA gun there. So it's time to... Ooh.
Ready, sir.
Can we get this guy to fall back? I think we can. Okay, so we've saved that plane. Now, go ahead and hit this airfield. And that will be the end of it. Oop.
Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. As you command. First officer here. Yes, Commander. Sir, yes, sir.
So the loss of these airfields should be a big blow to them. Looks like the Spitfire ran out of fuel at the worst possible time for him.
We are under attack. We are under attack.
And that airfield's gone.
What is this? An American fleet in European waters?
The 8th Fleet is here to spoil your plans, Goering.
A toothless bluff, Admiral. Roosevelt can't declare war without Congress.
So I've heard. But the fleet is here strictly in an observational capacity.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means we'll see you in hell, Herman.
Oh man, that is highly entertaining. Okay, so the good news is we have, of course, taken out the last of the key airfields here. So we will not see any more planes spamming us. That is good news. So we'll go ahead and start bombing what's left of their radar stations just to be double sure, and then proceed to mop up. Simple enough. Oh wait, there is one more thing. I forgot to mention the Americans are going to, of course, send planes out at us from their carrier, which should be somewhere around here. But we can, of course, destroy that aircraft carrier and the planes that it spams against us. So simple enough.
We are under attack.
What's this?
We are under attack. Yes, sir. 10-4.
The English chain of radar stations is full of holes. It no longer poses a threat to us.
We are under attack.
Ooh.
Yes, Commander. Sir,
Well, that's bad news, but we can deal with that.
our course.
Go ahead and send the ships over here, and that will be a pretty decent mop up. Okay, so the Americans do, like I mentioned before, have a fleet in this area, and also there's a few buildings that we will need to take care of. While we're here, though, we might as well improve some of the stats on our tanks. So we already improved hit points, also improve attack, and that should do for now. I think we can actually sail around there and possibly attack the Americans with our navy, which would be interesting, although I'm not sure I would entirely recommend it, what with the strong likelihood of them having...
Under attack.
Ooh. They have an S-class sub. That's actually interesting.
First officer heading new course.
Alright, so that tank is dead. Really? You're gonna shoot machine guns at a battleship? Okay. So there are a few buildings that the Americans set up that we do need to take out, but otherwise, nothing that much of a... Ooh, what's this? We'll just have our Navy do its thing here and pretty much wreck.
First officer here. Our course, sir?
Okay, good. So there is a route here that we can use to get to their Navy. We'll see what kind of fleet the U.S. has, and if they do have mini frigates, we will avoid fighting them head-on. However, at least with these guys, we might, however, decide to spam them with fighter bombers, since those seem to be pretty good at taking out ships. What's this? What? Game, what have you done? Okay, so it was a disastrous idea because apparently the Americans have Nautiluses here. Alright, so what kind of defenses are going to be between me and that carrier? Not a lot. So I can go ahead and spam them with fighter bombers and see what happens. This should be highly entertaining. Assuming they don't get shot down on the way. No, don't get distracted.
Yes, Commander. Roger.
Okay, I'll just have them fly straight there.
Go ahead. 10-4. Yes, Commander. Roger.
Alright, so they've used most of their fuel, so they won't be able to make it for too much longer, unfortunately. Ah, here comes the their fighter bombers. Yeah, they have a lot. Might as well spam them with our fighters to see what happens. So apparently, judging from that, I'd say that their fleet is actually over here. Simple enough.
As you command.
And these guys have a good long range on them, so we should be able to have no problems whatsoever finding the American fleet and dealing with the aircraft.
As you command.
What is going to be a problem is, of course... Okay, so they have a few frigates from the looks of it.
As you command.
I don't see any cruisers, so this should actually be pretty simple. All we have to do is spam them with bombers. And we actually, I believe, get an achievement for killing their carrier, so that should actually be pretty good for us. Our little plan is working.
Awaiting orders, sir. Ready, sir. Awaiting orders, sir. N4. Yes, Commander. Sir, by your command. Yes, Commander. Sir, yes, sir. We are under attack.
There, problem solved. And that is that.
An American carrier has been sunk. High Command is eager to report such acts of daring.
Yes, Commander.
So we've pulled it off. Alright, that gives us more points and a lot more to work with. So let's go ahead and improve our tanks even further, giving them an armor and a range boost. So now they're going to have more hit points, more damage, more armor, and longer range. Awesome. Oh god. Let's get our ships out of there very quickly. No, no, not my dreadnought. Not my battleship. Okay. Okay, let's see how many fighter bombers we have left. We have enough. We will go ahead and... You might want to fall back right now. So apparently the British have gone completely nuts and have decided to attack us with literally everything they've got. Which is fine by me, because that means if they're going to... Actually, you know what? If we can kill this artillery, it will go a long way to us. Just...
Yes, Commander. 10-4. Roger.
Alright. Come on, take out their artillery. And once the artillery is done, we can finally move on to, I guess, taking out the AA guns around Buckingham Palace, which should be a pretty easy job to do, and then we'll just focus on Buckingham Palace itself. Whew, so it does seem to be working. Now, okay, so bomber. You will attack that one.
Yes, Commander.
You will attack that one. You will attack that one.
Yes, Commander.
You will attack that one. Pretty sure that's the extent of their anti-aircraft. At least from point A to point B. There are going to be more up here, for instance, that we will have to deal with, but otherwise...
Sir? Yes, Commander. Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. 10-4.
You attack that one.
Commander. On
You attack that one.
Yes, sir.
You attack that one.
Commander. On your command. Yes, sir. 10-4.
And that should be most of Buckingham Palace's AA guns neutralized right there. And then let's see, what else do we need to do? Well, we need to... I'll go ahead and have our fighters and fighter bombers and whatnot cover this area, because we do need to make sure that that does not get attacked. We need to make sure that that's clear at least, I mean, because they're going to spam it with artillery and whatnot, so might as well deal with that. Wow, that was really easy. Okay, now that we are at it, let's see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Commander. On your command.
Have 5 attack that, and have another
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Commander. Yes, sir.
5 attack that.
Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander.
While we're here, we'll have the bombers start bombing Buckingham Palace specifically.
Awaiting orders.
These planes contain our elite paratroops. The troops will exit the plains as soon as they clear the English coast.
And that is done. The Americans only have a few buildings, so it should be easy to mop up once we take out Buckingham Palace and take out their buildings. Wow, another raid will actually about do it. We almost took out this thing.
We are under attack. Our course, sir. Plotting new course.
Okay, it's time to fall back and let our...
First officer.
Apparently we really annoyed the Americans because they are now sending their fleet against us. Or their submarines, anyways. Do I have any bombers? Yes. Ooh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Commander.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Commander. 10-4. On your command. Sir.
You go bomb Buckingham Palace and take care of it once and for all.
Attention on deck. First officer here. Load the gun. Our course, sir. Setting course.
Excuse
First
me.
officer here. Underway.
Our success in Britain has prompted the Abwehr to assign several operatives to further assist our forces. Each spy can either take over British military buildings or infiltrate British town centers or capitals
sir.
to plunder their resources. These agents must be used wisely, for no more can be spared.
Okay, so we now devote our bombers and fighters to this operation up here. And while we're at it, we will...
Yes, Commander.
Well, that works, I guess. That should take care of the U.S. Buildings, I think. So once we get our citizens to go ahead and build a town center in... Sorry, but once we get our citizens to build a town center in this area, we should actually be perfectly good. And while we are at it, we'll go ahead and just level this, and also do what we can about this here.
Awaiting orders. At order.
Take out the artillery, and once that's dealt with, we'll be able to move on to actually landing ground troops. Not that there's a lot of stuff left to deal with at this point. See what I mean by the fact that you can actually go ahead and sink the British, or just destroy Britain's ability to fight back just by using your Air Force. Now we've got this massive force to play with here that we can just send in mass, and there we go.
Ready, sir.
Go ahead and order them up here. Actually, we will have them attack move in case they run into another ambush.
Roger.
So far, things are looking pretty good.
How can I help? Okay. Our course, sir. Setting course.
There we go. We have 4 transport ships, not a whole lot, but definitely enough to work with, I think.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. As you command.
Alright, so what do we need to clear out here? I guess I'll go ahead and clear out this barracks here. I want to deprive them of their manufacturing, which is really what's going to be a determining factor. Oh look, the Americans are sending their navy in again. Let's go ahead and deal with that.
Sir. On your command. On your command. 10-4.
We almost got it.
Yes, sir. On your command. 10-4. On your command. Yes, command. We are under attack. Yes, sir. On your command. Yes, command.
That tank factory's dead. Now that we've dealt with that, we'll go ahead and move our efforts to further inland, and that should do it.
Where to, sir?
Since wood is one of the few resources we can actually afford to spend a lot of,
New course.
might as well at this point.
Awaiting orders. As you command. Awaiting orders. 10-4. Awaiting orders. As you command. Awaiting orders.
It's a lot of panzers we're going to be sending their way.
Awaiting orders. Setting course. 10-4. Awaiting orders. Setting course. We are under attack. Plotting new course.
Good. Now we will bring in the artillery. Also, any more guys? Yes, we do have a few. Send those in. Oh, and it also gave us more resources. Excellent.
Where to?
In fact, let's upgrade our tanks.
Setting course. Our course, sir.
This actually gives us more points to play with. Excellent.
Sir.
There we go.
Plotting new course.
Now that's done.
Setting course. Our course, sir. Where to, sir? Plotting new course. Ready, sir.
We can improve this guy's stats, so we might as well.
Ready, sir. Setting course.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Coming down.
And
I'm on it.
medics. We will need medics. So
Who's hurt? Do you need?
Setting course. Our course, sir.
that should help there quite a bit.
Ready, sir.
See what the flamethrower. I'm pretty sure the flamethrower is kind of this, the late era or the late game version of basically Samson's, where they're basically close range siege infantry is what they're supposed to be, anyways.
Ready, sir.
So they get gold, or they use gold, but go ahead and improve their attack, since their range seems to be pretty good.
Setting course, sir.
And what else will we put on there? Well, why not the commander? Why not? So we've pretty much wrecked a good chunk of that, so we'll go ahead and move on to there. And this particular, we'll go ahead and send them north.
Yes, sir. By your command.
have you guys attack that tank factory specifically because I don't want them to be able to send in more tanks. That is a big no-no for me.
Plotting new course.
And while we are at it, we'll go ahead and send in our fleet to... Well, actually, we'll just send in our dreadnought here, or our Bismarck ship here, to go ahead and take out these to clear a pathway for the transports to drop off men. Should make it a lot easier.
Our course, sir. Bridge here. Setting course. Bridge here. New course. Setting course. Course officer here. New course. Where to, sir? Plotting new course. Course officer here. Plotting new course. Setting course. Plotting new course.
Okay, we just about got it.
Where to, sir? Setting course. Our course, sir. Plotting new course. Where to, sir? Setting course. Our course, sir. Plotting new course. Ready orders. Ready orders. And for
German forces have established a foothold in England.
and for
Alright.
ready, sir.
Go ahead and blast this tower to oblivion.
Awaiting orders. As you command.
And this tower to oblivion also. There we are.
Sir, yes, sir.
Alright. Let's... Oh yeah, we got awarded points, by the way, for establishing a foothold into Britain. Should be good. Let's see what kind of points we got. Ooh, quite a bit, actually. Now, I could spend this to increase speed, but instead... This, and actually for now, that'll do. Well, I think it's safe to say that... What? What is actually hitting us?
Let's go.
Something's hitting us. Okay, so we'll go ahead and send our artillery back while our tanks go in to mop up. Because there's something there hitting us, and I don't know what it is.
As you command. As you command. Waiting orders. And for
Ah, there's the artillery.
as you command.
But is that all of it? Looks like it might actually be the extent of it. So I'll go ahead and order the bombers to take out that. And since we do have the citizens now...
Where to, sir? Plotting new course. Our course, sir.
That is way much more hilarious than it needs to be.
On your command.
See if we can actually get some bombers to actually hit it. And there he goes. Okay. So we'll go ahead and send the paratroops in.
Awaiting orders.
Just for the sake of it, we'll send them right into Buckingham Palace. Simple enough, and get the citizens in to this area. We will then drop them off here and have them build Buckingham Palace, and mission accomplished.
Party troops! Ave! Party troops! Ave! Party troops! Ave!
Go ahead.
That's gonna end up big. Someone needs to make that a meme.
Waiting orders. By your command.
Yes, sir.
So the paratroopers are all snipers. That is actually really good to know.
Coming up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll have them scout ahead, see what they can find.
We are under attack. How can I help? Okay.
Ooh, that's a tank.
Awaiting orders.
We should actually go and deal with that before the citizens get into the line of fire.
Right away. We are under attack. Okay. Right away. Okay. Ready. How can I help?
With its primary mission complete, the drop plane can still serve the Luftwaffe in a reconnaissance role.
Ready. Yes, sir.
Well, the snipers have, or paratroopers, sorry, have, or at least a good chunk of them appear to have survived.
Ready, sir.
Not sure what that is, but okay.
Ready.
This will be our London base of operations. I have gathered enough administrators at the Paris rail yard to set up an occupation government in London. The British throne has retreated to Canada. England is now a province in the far greater German Empire.
Alright, so we managed to pull it off. They did have more stuff in the north there, but also stuff that we could have mined too. Love how that works. Okay, well, let's quit the scenario and see what happens. Summary. Top in military, naturally. Wow, poor Great Britain there. And also economy, even though we didn't ever gather any resources whatsoever. But units killed 336 for 53 lost. 171 buildings razed to 8 lost, and an army size of 172. Okay. Hero count 6 somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. Probably the spies. This was a very long mission, as you could tell right here. Apparently it took us 154 minutes, so yeah. Alright, so this has been Ace, and this has also been the German campaign of Empire Earth. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.